Jai Hind everyone. My name is Pooja Pandey and I am assistant professor in the MCA department in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. And today I am going to discuss a very, you can say, a very introductory part of the operating system. That is, basically I am going to discuss an overall my lecture about the fundamentals, what are its goals, components, and the structure I am going to discuss. Right. So, and in the MCA, according to the AKTU universities, its subject code is BMC 203. And let's start the presentation. Specifically, everyone knows that what you mean by the operating system, but let me start that what do you mean by the operating system. See, program that act as an intermediary between the user of a computer and the computer hardware is normally termed as your OS. So you can basically understand that it is mainly an interface between the computer hardware and the user, right? So, for example, when you boot your system or your laptop, you understand that you see something that in that scan disk is okay, booting process is going on. So what that thing is going on, that is a operating system. As soon as you start your system, the operating system starts working, right? So at every time you have to understand that whenever you are working or whenever your system is running or whenever you are working on the system, operating system is working continuously. It is not stopped, right? So what I wanted to explain to you all, that what do you mean by the operating system. You have to keep in mind that it is an act as an intermediary between the user of the computer and the computer hardware, or we can say that it is an intermediary between the computer hardware and the user, or in the short we can say it as an interface between the hardware and the user. Now we have understood that what do you mean by the operating system, but what is the purpose of the operating system, why we are using the operating system? Because operating system provides an environment which an user execute programs conveniently and efficiently, right? Because operating system is a program that runs continuously at all the time on the computer, right? All other program, including your application program, including your you say your application program, run on the top of the operating system. So whatever the applications you are seeing on your mobile, on what they are running on the operating system. Mainly the operating system assigns resources such as the memory, your processor, your input output devices to process that need them, and the assignment of resources has been to be a fair and you say the secure. So you have to keep in mind that what do you mean by the operating system. So it's very clear that what do you mean by the operating system. Nothing. You have to keep in mind that it is an intermediary between the user of a computer and the hardware. Purpose. What is the purpose of the operating system? It provides an environment in which a user can execute program conveniently and efficiently, right? Third, operating system is a program that runs at all the time. You have to keep in mind this point, that OS runs all the time in the computer, and all the application program, whatever you are seeing that is running on your system, it is on the operating system, right? Now, so this what we call it as an operating system. So you can say that operating system is a system hardware that manages the computer hardware, because it is an intermediate between the hardware and the user. So we can also say that it is a system software that manages the computer hardware, software resources, and provide the common services for the computer program, right? Now, basic two properties are there for the operating system. The first one is that the operating system is a resource allocator. If I am saying resource allocator, it means that it manages all the resources and it decides if there is any conflicting request between the processor, then it will resolve that conflict, and for the efficient and for the fair resources, right? Now, the second point is that OS is a control program. right? When I am saying OS is a control program, because it controls the execution of the program. Why? Because it prevents the error, it prevents any improper use of the computer. So these are the basic two properties of the operating system. If you see that operating system is a resource allocator and operating system is a control program. If you keep in mind, if you are going to keep these 2 points in the mind, you will be very clear that what is the operating system. First thing, that it is operating system, it acts as an intermediate between the hardware and the user, and operating system is a resource allocator, operating system is a control program, right? So these three things you have to keep in mind till now. Now, these are some examples of the operating system in the day-to-day life. You are encountering it, but we are not taking care that, oh, this is the operating system. See, Windows is the operating system, Mac OS, Linux, Chrome OS, Android, iOS, Unix, and BSD. That is your Berkeley software distribution, and it is BSD. It is a Unix based operating system. So these are the few examples for the operating system. If you want to mention or if you want to tell anyone, you can tell these, right? Now, if I'm talking about the operating system and the user interaction, you have to understand this diagram very clearly, that every general purpose computer system, it is containing of the hardware, operating system, application program, and the user. These are the hierarchy what every computer is consist of, every general computer. Now, this hardware includes the, if I am saying that hardware, this hardware includes the CPU, ALU, and if you say that input output devices, peripheral devices, and the storage devices. Now, when I am talking about the system program, it will be including your system program will include your compiler, loader, editors, and the OS itself. Now, if I am talking about the application program, it will be a user level software that performs a specific task. So, when we are talking about the OS, we have to keep in mind that every general purpose, every computer consists of the hardware, operating system, system program, and the application program, right? Now, if I am saying that operating system, in the previous slide also I have mentioned, in the first most slide, that operating system is always running in the background. Why it is running? Because it is managing and coordinating the use of the hardware resources among the system. You have to keep in mind that it is managing and coordinating the use of the hardware resources, and the application programs, whatever the application program you are running on the in your system, they are all managed by the operating system. But you have to keep in mind that operating system is itself not a user interface, okay? Because if you say that, but it provides an interface for the user interaction, and in the definition also it is very clear that it is an interface, right? It is not an user interface, it is just an interface of the interaction, right? Now, if I'm talking about the goals of the operating system, if I'm talking about the goals of the operating system, there are two types of the goals of the operating system. The first one is your primary goal and the secondary goal. In primary goal, if I'm going to discuss, it is very, we say that it is very easy to use and convenient environment for executing the user programs. So, primary goal of the operating system, it is a user convenience. It is user convenience because it is easy to use and it is providing the user friendly interface, and it is making it very simple to interact with the system. That's why we are saying that it is a user convenience. If I am saying that program execution, it means that it facilitates the execution of the user program. It is providing the necessary environment and services for them to run. So that is what you mean by the program execution when I am talking in the primary goals of the OS. Now, if I am talking about the resource management, it means that OS manages and allocates the all the computational resources, all the computers resources, including your CPU, memory, disk storage and input output devices. Why? Because for the fair utilization, right? That is why we have said that OS is a resource allocator. That is what your resource management. Now, again, when I am talking about the security, it is a primary goal of the operating system that your OS protects the system and user data from the unauthorized access, ensuring the confidentiality, integrity and availability, that is your CIA of the information of the system. So these are the primary goals of the operating system. Now, if I am talking about the secondary goals, it means that it should be the efficient resource utilization. It means that it should maximize the performance and utilization of the CPU, memory and input output devices. Why? Because so that the system should run smoothly and efficiently, right? Now, the secondary goal should be that there should be a reliability. It means that it should be robust, reliable, and why I am saying reliability? That because it should handle the errors and exception gracefully if our system encounters any problem when we are using this thing, right? So it should be modular in design and easy to debug. So these are the goals of the operating system. Now, when I am talking about the components of the operating system, there are the two basic components of the operating system. If you say that operating system is equals to kernel plus shell. Okay. Now, if I am talking about the OS, you can understand with this diagram, this shell and kernel combinedly it is forming that your operating system. Now, this shell is an outermost layer. If you say that it is an outermost layer of the operating system and it helps in the user interaction. Okay. Now, it is interpreting the input from the OS and handles the output from the OS. Okay. So that is the working of the shell. Now, when I am talking about your kernel, in the diagram it is clearly mentioned. If you see that this kernel is the core component of the operating system and it is a primary interface between the OS and the hardware, or you can say this kernel normally handles the hardware interaction. You can clearly distinguish between the kernel and the shell. First, you have to keep in mind that when I am talking about the OS you can understand it is a combination of your kernel and the shell. Kernel is your innermost layer and your core, or you can say that kernel is a core component of the operating system, while the shell is the outermost. Shell, you say that it handles the user interaction and kernel handles your hardware interaction. So these is the components of the operating system. Now, when I am talking about the application of the operating system, it shows that it is a platform. It is very clear that it is a platform for the application program. It provides, according to what I have discussed in the previous slides, it is very clear that all the application programs, whatever we are using on our mobile or anywhere, they are running on the operating system. So we can say that it is a platform for your application program. Now, again, I am saying that it allows a computer to manage its own resources such as memory, monitor, keyboard and printer, etc. It means that it is managing the input-output unit, right? When I am talking about that, we are saying that OS manages the memory and it allows the multiple programs to run in its own space and even communicate with each other through the shared memory. What does it mean? It means that it is a multitasking. Now, again, it manages the computer's main memory and secondary storage, and OS is very is used, or we can say it allows and deallocates memory to all the tasks and application, and that is why we say that OS manages the memory and the files. Now, if I am talking about the security, again in the previous slide also I have discussed that OS provides the security because it provides you can say it provides a safe application. It keeps all the application and the system very safe through the authorization process. That is why we say that OS provides the security to the system. Right. Now, why to choose the operating system? Why, when we are talking about the operating system, a question comes to our mind that why we should choose the operating system. We should choose the operating system, or why, what are the factors when we are choosing the operating system? That is your price factor. Price factor is one of the most factor to consider when we are choosing the operating system. For example, some OS are free like Linux, but some are paid, that is your Windows and the Mac OS. So according to that, we are choosing the price factor comes very first. Then accessibility factor, that some operating systems are very easy to use, like the Mac OS and the iOS, but some OS we find out they are somewhat little bit complex like Linux. So whenever we choose the operating system, we keep in mind that it is which one is very easily accessible, right? Now, when we are talking about the compatibility factor, then compatibility factor, since we see that some operating system supports only very few applications, right? So when we are choosing the operating system, we have to keep in mind that what application I required, they are supposed to running, they are compatible to that OS or not. Okay, so that we have to keep in mind. Now, when we are talking about the security factor, this is also a very important factor when we are choosing the operating system, because we find out that Mac OS provides some very large amount of the security in compared to the Windows and the other. So these are the factors on which we decide that which operating system we are choosing. Now, when I am talking about the operating system structure, the structure shows that if you understand the structure of the operating system, it mainly shows that how its parts are arranged and how they are working together inside the kernel. So we can understand that operating system structure is nothing but it is a blueprint that helps us to understand and design the operating system. Since we find out that when we are working on the operating system, or when we go through the operating system, we find out that operating system is complex. So it is divided into the smaller parts so that its development and its management become easier. So that's why we say that operating system is a structure, or operating system structure is we say that all the components, they are integrated and communicate within the kernel. Or we can say that operating system structure is equals to logical components, that is layers, plus logical interrelationship of the components. It normally specifies the overall internal structure of the OS. That is what the meaning of the operating system structure. Now, these are the various operating system structures that we are going to discuss in this further. Now, when I am talking about your simple structure, when I am talking about, this is a very simple design, as you see in the diagram, that it is a very simple, small and easy to design, but it has no clear internal structure, right? So in this, every part, they are not separated, they are not properly separated, but they are working very closely together. Because of this application program can directly access to the IO operation, basic input output operation, and because of this only, the application, the system is less reliable. Here we find out that if one user program fails, your entire system crash, right? Earlier, when we are talking about the simple structure, the MS-DOS is a very common example of the simple structure. So when we are talking about the simple structure, we can easily find out what are the advantages and the disadvantages. When we are talking about the advantages, it is very clear that better performance, because there are very few interface. They are easily to develop they are easy for the developer to develop the operating system, because very few things are there, right? But disadvantage is that if any one user program fails, your entire system may crash, because there are, and it is the structure is, if you see here, the structure is little bit complicated because there is no clear boundaries between each modules, each thing can interact, or it can interact with other part, right? So it does not have any data hiding. So after that, we come on the monolithic structure. In the monolithic structure, when we are discussing, we have to keep in mind that all the core OS components, that is including your kernel, your device driver, your system services, they are combined into a very single and the large binary file, right? We keep there in a single part, right? We are imagining that all the core operating system or the all core OS components, we have kept we are combining it in the single and the large binary file. Now this architecture, it provides a direct interaction between the components, resulting what was the result? Resulting in the fast execution in the simplified development, right? Now, but this may lead to your increased complexity because it is very difficult to maintain and extend the system as all the things are combined into a single large binary file. For example, of the monolithic OS is your Linux, Windows and your Mac OS. They are monolithic operating system. We have to keep in mind that these are the examples of the monolithic operating system. Now, if I am saying the key characteristics of the monolithic operating system, first, according to the previous slide, it is very clear. It has got the single kernel. Why? Because all the essential OS function, they are residing in a large kernel. Now, if everyone is there in the same area, it means that there is a direct interaction. The components can directly interact. Now, if all the things are kept in a very large file, it means that it is a very simple design. The architecture is very simple. There is a fast performance because everyone is directly interacting between, but it has got a complex maintenance. Why? Because if there is a change or error in one part of the kernel, we will find it very difficult to find out the error, or we will find very difficult to, you can say, to change the error, because it is very difficult to maintain and extend, because each and everything is kept in a single large binary file, right? Now, when I am talking about the next structure, that is your layer structure, keeping in mind all these difficulties, we have find out that layered structure. In the layered structure, the operating system is divided into your several layers. If you see in the diagram, the lower layer is your hardware and your upper layer is your user interface. In this structure, we easily find out that all the layers are well organized. If the layers are well organized, it means that we are easily able to debug easier, because if we are finding the error in any one of the layer, it is not affecting the other layer, right? The errors can be improved in that very layer, so it improves the system reliability. But we find out that whenever there is we add an extra overhead here, because the data must pass through so many layers. That is why we need a very careful designing and planning. So here, for the layered structure, we find out that Unix in an example is an excellent example of your layered operating system, right? Now, when I am talking about your microkernel structure, it means that only the most important functions, they are kept inside the kernel. All other services, when I am talking about only the most important function, and we have to keep in mind that like the other services like the device driver and the file system, they are running in the user space. Earlier, what we are doing, we are keeping all these things in a single large binary file. Now, because of this, that we are keeping only important function inside the kernel, because of this, the kernel remains small and simple. And whenever we want to add a new services, we can easily change without changing anything in the kernel. We can add new services, right? Now, the system, because of all these factors, the system has become more secure and reliable, right? Now, if your user space or your user space services fail, like the device driver and the file, they do not crash the whole operating system, because in microkernel we are keeping all these things in the other part. We are not keeping in the kernel. Now, Mac OS is an excellent idea for your microkernel approach, right? Now, this is an exokernel. Here, very quickly, I will say that in the exokernel structure, all that application, it gives direct control over the hardware resources. That's why the operating system only protects the hardware, and while application decide how to use. And exokernel was developed at your MIT, and it is mainly used for the research purpose, because the resource protection and the resource management are separated, right? So developer gets more flexibility and the control here. Now, we find that in exokernel context, the application you use are for the, basically you have to keep in mind that scientific and the high performance program. Here, normal apps like WordPaint or Paint in the usual sense we use, no, they are not used in this exokernel context. Now, in the virtual operating system, this is the last operating system structure what I am going to discuss. That is it allows multiple operating systems to run simultaneously on a single physical computer system. So this is a basic structure. If you see that, user application, guest operating system, virtual machine monitor, and the physical hardware. It means that each operating system works as if it has its own separate machine, and even though the hardware is shared. So real life example is if you are considering a single physical server in the data center, one is running your Windows, one is running your Linux, one is running on the Mac OS. So this is a real life example of your virtual operating system. So these are the factors how we find out that which operating system is considered the best. In a very quickly, I say that we suggest that we see that which one is flexible and scalability, which has got the property that is your independent process, and which structure is easy to update and the debug, and which structure is highly portable. So these are the factors which we always keep in mind while selecting the which operating system is considered as the best. So thank you all, and this is all.